Okay, people want to know about the airline crash. You know, that's not very nice to ask God, unless it's really important to you. It's not polite. Oh, I don't care. God's a big boy. God's a big boy. He can handle. Dinner, well, I kept the ladder close and dodged and played at bebop, beep, bo peep with it. And when at last I held still and a piece of cheese between my thumb and finger, it came and nibbled it, sitting in my hand. Afterward, cleaned its face and paws like a fly and walked away. And Phoebe soon built in my shed in a robin for protection in a pine which grew against the house. In June, the partridge, which is so shy a bird, let her brood past my window from the woods in the rear to the front. So, let's go over a few things. A task record. The FS segment register points to the task record. The task register, the task structure. Each task can have one and only one window. Only task on Core 0 can have a window. Applications get launched from Core 0. The only way the other cores get utilized is if the Core 0 makes them a slave. So we have window coordinates. We have the coordinates times 8. The first coordinates are text row and column. Then these are, quote, derived. That means they're calculated from. Okay, tasks have siblings. There's a link for the next task in the round robin queue, and the Z window buffer order is based on the queue. In other words, front to back on the screen, the windows is based on the position in the queue. So I kill two birds with one stone. Okay, GS is the core, the CPU core. FPU state. Total time. I almost should get rid of that. Okay, I use a temporary wallpaper cache or something. I don't know what you want to call it. Exceptions. There's something called a setting. Basically, when you start up an application, you want to save the settings. Tasks can have differential equation, sets of differential equations that get calculated in real time. It's kind of a strange feature. Each task can have lexical analyzers. Each time it fires up the compiler, it can call itself too. Anyway, where's the symbol table? Stack. That's the system stack. Heap. Oh, there's a heap for malloc. There's a code heap and a data heap. That's so that when this task dies, those blocks get returned to the system. The reason you keep a record of who owns what memory so that it can be returned when it dies. If you don't want it ever to die, give it to the Atom task. Let him use his heap. Random number seed. Hash table. Okay, so the way scope works, if a symbol is not found, it checks the parents. So Adam is the father of all, so his symbol table is global. ODE. Okay, so just remember, Core 0 is kind of special. it makes a lot more sense to keep it simple. That's an easy concept. You launch applications from Core 0, and only Windows can be on Core 0. So anyway, let's get God to talk about the airline crash. It's really not very polite, but I want to show off Mr. God. Think about it. He doesn't want to talk about it. Maybe he does. It's a hardball question, basically. Whom sacrament traced, debasing, tickled volunteers reveal his cheerfulness, commencing bereaved duller, unsure 50 shield lovers, driven, blushed, distinguishing. God likes soap operas. Soap operas are God's favorite thing on television. Wounded flies, air, understanding, eminent pudding, solicits, marvel, hardship, hymns. Oops, I skipped away. Approved magistrates, robbery, presumed, vintage, lists, titles, pricked, bethink, hardships, hymn, previous, inhabitants, lawyers, stomach, Alexandria, pronunciation, holy, forming, tickled, forsaken, oddest, prevail, punctuation, lot, blessedly, caves, outwardly abase, bows, lures, infection, toy, colored, schools, suspense, mountain, was, balneon, predestination, mistaken, procurist, curiosity's bride, complain, persuaded, immutable, comparison, ludicrous, abode, mysteriously mentioning, sink, straightening, enforcement, threefold, celebrated, curiosity, freed, omnium, effect, transformed, masculine, subduing, tamest, fullness, shadowy plays, prelate, derides, bubblings, heights, asunder, prepared, golden, bidden, Biden, hell, meditating, interest, pierced, whales, affected, student, replenished, nilled, stroke, company.